Hey guys, this is Mike Chalice for GamingLagg.com. If you like our content and would like to support us, please visit our Patreon. Our unofficial goal is to reach 1,000 gamers giving $1 a month. A little bit from you will mean a lot for us. Thank you for your continued support and kind words over these last few months. Hello everybody and welcome to a very special, very happy edition of the Laggspike Podcast. I am your host, Mike Chalice, and with me I have only two of the normal four. Math. Only two of the normal three people that join me. I have the man with the beard, Matt Bird.
How's it going?
And I have Mr. Josh Quigley to my right.
How's it going?
And Sam is on vacation. What are we going to do? We are just going to be so positive. We're not going to have anybody swearing. Maybe some swearing. We can't promise that.
But there will be positivity in the swearing.
But we've done a lot of gaming this week. We have some news to get through as well, some sad news. We're going to dedicate this whole episode, of course, in memory of Satoru Iwata, who is the president of Nintendo, who passed away recently. But before we get into that and the rest of the news, let's talk a little bit about Gamersport Gamers, which is something on our website. Visit GamingLagg.com and go to that page on the website. It is lots of different gamers with great content on YouTube or Twitch or websites that are relating to gaming and things of that nature. We try and support them, and they in turn support us via social networking and media and stuff like that. There's a lot of people that are trying to break into this market, but it's pretty saturated, I would say. Anybody else agree?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
A lot of people creating content, just trying to get noticed and trying to be entertaining to some people. And more important than that, I'm sorry, but it has to be said, is Extra Life. We will be at the Fredericton Gaming Expo for anybody who will be there as well. That is in Fredericton, New Brunswick, of course. And we will be there representing sort of Extra Life, I guess, unofficially. We will be drawing for a great basket, which includes things like pop vinyls, chic amiibos, Gaming Lagg swag, and we will be drawing and raffling that off that weekend, all in honor to kick off our Extra Life campaign. And Matt, what is Extra Life? Why is it important, and why should people care?
It's for Children's Miracle Network hospitals, which get most of their funding only through different fundraising and donations. We've chosen the IWK, which is near and dear to us because it is the closest one to us. If, as a collective group, we do reach 2,000, 2,500, I don't remember what it is.
$2,500, Matt.
2,500? Let's go 2,000.
You can keep going low if you want.
At some point, we're just going to be shaving your beard no matter what.
It's not really going to matter because on the stream on November 7th, when we stream for 24 hours straight, we're just going to hold you down and shave your beard off anyway. It doesn't matter. We could be at $5 at that point. It's going to be great.
But please donate.
Yes.
don't take that as a reason.
Yes.
Anyone can join our team too. It's completely open. We can't say no. And then you can choose the same hospital as us or your own. Or if you can't find the time in November, just donate to any of us. Donate to our team.
Yep.
And
I think the important thing to remember about Extra Life is that these Children's Miracle Network hospitals are pretty much funded solely on fundraising campaigns such as this, and it is a great way to support positivity in the gaming community, and that's why we love it. It's so important to make sure you're helping people who are in need that can't always help themselves. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. Josh, what have you been playing this week? You have a big list there. I want to hear it.
It's not much of a list. It's a couple of things. So
you played like 5 minutes of each of them, right?
Well, a little more than that because I played some with my kid.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So I played Destiny.
All right.
Played a lot of The Witcher 3.
Witcher 3.
Because it's still a fantastic game. I turned on Xenoverse again. Just to try out some of the new character downloads that...
Yeah, there's a bunch of them coming out. They just released like the new Frieza movie that's coming out. They have characters from that, I think.
Yep. So, that was a lot of fun. And then my daughter wanted to play Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube, so we got that hooked up.
Sweet.
That's one of my favorites.
Played a lot of Double Dash. And since it was hooked up anyways, I played a lot of Rogue Squadron 2.
Oh, yeah.
Because, why not? Made me really sad about space battles, though.
Yeah. I was actually at a flea market yesterday looking at retro games and stuff, and I was hoping for kind of like Super Metroid or something like that because I do have a Super Nintendo sitting at home that I'd love to get out and play. Unfortunately, no luck.
That sucks.
Yeah. But as far as games I've been playing this week, I'm going to make special mention that I'm very excited that The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is coming out tomorrow. I am all ready for that. Going to be purchasing that and playing through that. I'm going to try while I'm playing to do a little bit of streaming and stuff. We've been kind of going quiet on that just because we don't have a regular schedule. But I did play Destiny due to the recent announcements of things I wanted to go in and finish and make sure that I had all the achievements done for what they announced on Bungie Day. Played a lot of The Witcher 3. I'm on the very last mission. I'm going to be finishing that more than likely tonight sometime. And then I'm done the story. My issue with The Witcher 3 was that I was getting to the point where I was getting a little burnt out, and there's other games on the horizon, indie games mostly, but I do want to play them, and I don't want to not finish it like I did Dragon Age Inquisition. I want the story done, and I love the game anyway. So, and then I finally got back into The Walking Dead because I needed something different to be playing, and played through episode 2 of season 1 and really enjoyed that. So I'm excited to keep going in that because episode 2 was really good. I liked it a lot. There's a lot of death.
There is a lot of death, but that is The Walking Dead.
Cinder blocks are bad. For most people that have played that game, they will understand. Yeah, Matt, what have you been doing, bud?
Played a bit of Destiny, but I'll talk more about that on The Last Word, which we'll be recording shortly after
every
this
Tuesday. GamingLag.com or iTunes.
Finally put Tales of the Borderlands episode 3 on. Really enjoyed that. You forgot about Rocket League, Mike. We played a lot of Rocket League.
Oh my God! Why have I? I should be killed right now.
Put your head down.
Rocket League.
You're done.
You want to know why? Because it's been such a huge part of this week that that was just my normal life. Everything else was games.
That wasn't gaming. That
Rocket
was
League is so good. I love it so much.
I didn't think I was going to like it at first, but it was so good.
It's so fun.
Game of Thrones episode 4. So a lot of Telltale this week. I did try to put Grim Fandango back on. I still can't get back into that, but the nostalgia came back. And I don't think I said Batman, but I played Batman, and I played the Harley Quinn missions, which her detective mode is actually different.
Okay.
We'll go with the word different.
Okay.
Which I might actually get the Batgirl DLC just
because those missions were good enough that you'd be all right to try them out.
I don't know if I want the expansion, but Batgirl.
Yeah, I just wish they did that. They didn't have such a big problem on PC because they've now basically canceled the DLC for PC until further notice because it's still not really working properly. Before we go into the news, I really do want to talk about Rocket League for a bit. Josh hasn't played it yet.
I haven't.
He's going to probably play it sometime this week because we've all been talking about it, but he has a busy schedule, obviously, 2 kids, things like that. I've been playing the crap out of that game. It is... The reason it's so good to me is because it is just full of insane moments. Like riding up on the wall and hitting the ball off the wall into the net or making some crazy... It's literally, if you've ever as a kid lowered the basketball net outside of your house down so that you can slam dunk it, and you do these ridiculous slam dunks to make you feel like Michael Jordan, that's Rocket League. That's exactly what it is. It just feels like you're doing crazy stuff all the time. I love it. I love it. It's so good. It's free on PS Plus this month. Download it and add me. I will play with you.
He will.
I will.
He literally sits at home waiting for people.
Yeah. Actually, big shout out to Salo or Wes and Nanotech. They both played with me and Sam while we were doing a stream earlier. It was a blast. Then I played a couple of ranked doubles with Salo. It was really, really fun. That game is just fun to pick up, and you can't get mad at it. I get frustrated with myself sometimes, but even if you lose, you're just like, man, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
Made some crazy saves.
No, it's not always fun because you can lose when the person has a ping of over 200 and you just want to commit suicide when you're playing.
I remember the first 4v4 match, but their servers got hammered this week, and I couldn't drive the car. It was just all over the place, left and right, under the ground, in the sky. You couldn't do a thing. And then it would just say they scored, and you were like, all right, enough about Rocket League. Let's get into some news.
Game.
Yes, really good game. But let's get into some news. So the first thing we're going to mention, obviously, and we mentioned at the top of the show, is Nintendo president Satoru Iwata has passed away. He's been the president of Nintendo, and he's been battling serious illness, which is the reasons why he wasn't at E3 last year and this year. He was 55 years old. And in memory of him, I was actually reading a GameSpot article where they had put together some of his best quotes, and one of the quotes I wanted to read, sort of in memory of him. So he said at, I believe it was GDC 2005, he said, "Even if we come from different sides of the world, speak different languages, even if we have different tastes in games. Every one of us here today is identical in the most important way. Each one of us has the heart of a gamer, and that is why Nintendo is so near and dear to our hearts and why it's a massive.
I didn't read that quote before, and I just got chills from it. Look at the goosebumps.
It's crazy. It's such a perfect quote, and it's exactly why he was a visionary. He truly believed he thought of himself more as a gamer and a game developer as opposed to a president of a massive company. So that's something that the gaming world is obviously gonna miss. Good with that, I guess.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything to say about that or?
No.
Don't
want. We said we were staying away from the gloom and doom, so I think we should cut it
All right.
off there.
Next little bit of news that we have. Fallout 4 will be better because of Skyrim, says director Todd Howard, basically going over the fact that Skyrim did have a lot of bugs. Obviously, games that large are infamous for having that type of bugs, and or for that many bugs, I guess I should say. And he said that because of that, the way that they built Fallout 4 and the way that they went at it was a little bit different, and it's going to be better because of it. And that's exciting to me.
It's exciting to me, but I'm still worried about the no load screens.
Yeah. The Witcher has that to an extent. Obviously, in different parts of the world, you have to load into that part of the world, but after that, there is no load screens.
They're also kind of clever about how they use like mini cutscenes when you finish certain missions.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel that they incorporated those to just get load screens.
Yeah. I 100% agree. Like whenever
we're taking this opportunity to reload the world.
Yeah, exactly. Like you'll walk into or actually like an abandoned site when you rescue one of them, you have this little cutscene where you're just standing there and the villagers are walking back and it's like, okay, the world needs to change this site. It needs to make it so that there's people there, so just give us a minute here.
Yeah. But don't worry. We'll show you him nodding. It might be something similar to that they do.
Yeah.
Where you get just off the cuff load screens.
Yeah.
It is exciting that a developer is going to look at it and say, yes, this was a massive title we did and you loved it, but we made a lot of mistakes with it, and we're going to acknowledge that and use that info to try and make it better.
And I agree with that. The one thing that I really liked about Skyrim is that, or one thing that I really found weird and kind of liked, I guess, some of the bugs are really funny. That's what I liked about them. But some of them were very frustrating, especially if you played on PlayStation 3. It was abysmal on PS3. Yeah. And I'm interested to see how the no load screens kind of play into it. But I hated the fact that nobody seemed to talk about the bugs. They were just like, Skyrim is amazing. And it is, but you have to at least comment in the fact that my horse is now like in a tree and I was riding it 2 seconds ago. Never problem. This dragon only has a head. What is happening?
I'm supposedly hitting it, but there's no body.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting. But
the only bug on a horse I had was the Brotherhood mission, that special horse that couldn't die.
Oh yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah, the thing that like came out of the ground or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Mine, I was riding it in midair while it was still on the ground underneath me going.
One thing that Skyrim had that I really liked was DLCs. Oh, their DLCs were good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a horse get its head stuck in a rock and then catapulted me.
Yeah.
Like halfway across the map.
That's the stuff that's very frustrating because you could be in the middle of a mission or you could have just found something rare and it hasn't auto-saved or you haven't saved it yet and then all of a sudden you're dead and you're like, I have to go back there and do this and I barely made it through. Very frustrating. Metal Gear Solid 5 is going to be playable at Gamescom for the first time for the public. I think that's pretty exciting. I don't really need to have hands-on though with that after that 40-minute gameplay trailer because I'm pretty sure I understand exactly how the game is and why I'm going to love it.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to be the guy controlling the actual game for me to understand how it functions. You know?
You sneak, you kill, you do epic things.
Gamescom would be a weird place to do it because I think last year they had something like 700,000 people.
Yeah.
It's like 10 times the size of E3.
Well, it's because it's completely open to the public, not special invitations from game devs.
I am excited to see what Microsoft's bringing to the table at Gamescom because they have 3 big titles they're going to be talking about there, and I really want to see what Scalebound's all about. I want to see Crackdown 2 because I did play the original. I liked it. And
isn't it Crackdown 3?
Crackdown 3, you're right. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just Crackdown, actually, is what it's called. But
yeah.
And they're also going to be talking about Quantum Break, which I saw the gameplay trailer that they revealed last year, and I wasn't all that hyped on it, but who knows? Maybe it'll be better.
Well, I think their Gamescom presence is going to be even bigger, too, because they've announced they're not going to be at Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah, I think Tokyo Game Show is sort of a dying market, though, for any of the major console developers, because it's becoming more of like a mobile games show. Like, Nintendo doesn't even go to it, which is weird to me because they're in Japan.
That's true.
Like, so I think that's obvious. That's sort of something that they're... And Microsoft makes complete sense because they have no presence in Japan. Like, none. Jade Raymond, Assassin's Creed executive responsible for games like Unity shipping broken, joins EA for new Star Wars game. That was actually the reason I put that in there is because it's a little bit scary. Obviously, you cannot fuck around with Star Wars. If you do it,
this is 2 weeks in a row.
I know, but it's about serious topics. Okay, Star Wars is near and dear to so many people's hearts. I know, Matt, you were always more of a Star Trek guy. You've told me that, but you have to understand, like, that's the same thing as them taking Star Trek and ruining it, which I guess
it'd be like them re-releasing Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Isn't Deep Space Nine the one that had that android that everybody's obsessed with that came out of that? Or not? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's interesting to note. I'm sure they won't screw it up. EA seems to be going the right direction with Star Wars games. She's going to be the boss of the Uncharted person that
Amy Hennig.
Yeah, that left to go and do a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
So they have some talent there, obviously, and not every Assassin's Creed has been awful. It's an annualized franchise. What are you supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Comes out every single year. You're going to have problems. Stop annualizing games, and then you won't have those problems.
Yeah, we don't need a new one every year. We need a good one every once in a while.
Grand Theft Auto 5 proves the fact that you do not need to do that. They waited, 5-6 years between 4 and 5, and 4 was considered such a great game. Then 5 came out and basically just stomped it with its boot and said, we are now the biggest game ever made. And they made, almost $1 billion in the first day it was out or something like that. They made all of their money back plus millions of dollars of profit in one day, and then they released it on PS4, Xbox One, then they released it on PC, and it still continues to... It's insane. Annualizing games isn't the best thing, and I think with sports games, too, if you think about that it's going to be... Annualization isn't going to be something that's going to happen with those anymore because we're getting to the point now where the graphics don't really change.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to a point where they come out with NHL, and it's just going to be called NHL, and it's going to be something that they just update all the time.
You have to pay for the new rosters.
Yeah, and pay for new Exactly. Or buy the season pass for the year, and you get everything that they do for that year. It's going to happen at some point. According to voice actor Atsuka Akio, Kojima Productions has been disbanded. Obviously, this is still not completely confirmed, but everything's leading to the point where Kojima is definitely done after Metal Gear Solid 5, which is sad.
As soon as September 1st hits, on September 2nd, Microsoft and Sony, if they're smart, is going to be standing outside the door, waving fistfuls of cash at him.
We have money. Come see us.
Yeah, it's not. It's actually like it's a similar situation to, and I know this isn't gaming related, but I watched a show called Top Gear UK, and Jeremy Clarkson, who's now leaving that. Yes, he's an ass. Blah 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 blah. Whatever, but. Whoever is smart, like Netflix, Amazon, Prime, whatever, whoever is smart is going to go and find him and just throw briefcases of money and say, we need to make a show. Let's go. Come with me.
Just leave it like little Reese's Pieces.
Yeah. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, briefcase of money. Ooh, briefcase of money.
But yeah, you need to capitalize on things like that. I hope that no publisher picks him up exclusively. I hope he does a Kickstarter and does whatever crazy crap he wants to do.
Silent Hill with Norman Reedus.
Silent Hill's coming out. It's called Allison Road. Have you seen the trailer for that?
No.
Oh, we're going to watch that after.
No.
Oh, yeah, we are.
I suppose it's still light outside. We're good.
We're good. There's still light. We're good, people. Moving on, we have rumor that Devil's Third won't be coming to North America. However, recently, since I wrote that into the news, Nintendo and the game director himself have addressed that. Basically, it seems more like it's a lie and not an actual fact. Yeah. Nintendo came out and said, we're excited to share more about it. Now, if they come out and say it's not coming to North America, I'll be honest, it wouldn't surprise me. I remember seeing that demo, and it was a demo that was done, I believe, after Nintendo's conference. And it was done on, I watched the IGN panel on it, and it didn't show well. It was really rough, and it doesn't seem like that fun. I could be wrong, but it didn't. It literally just looked like Mercs 2. But
oh god,
yeah. And last little bit of news we have before we get into some larger topics is Lizard Squad hit PlanetSide 2, H1Z1, and EverQuest developer again. Kind of weird.
I was saying this before the show started. PlanetSide 2 and EverQuest, okay, you hit them, not a lot of repercussion.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who play H1Z1, and in terms of their technical skill and the type of people they are, it doesn't seem like the right group to hit. It's kind of like saying
they're coming after you.
I'm gonna throw a grenade in with all of these mercenaries. I'm used to hitting teddy bears.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hit these mercenaries and see what happens.
Wouldn't it be not awesome, because it's probably a little sadistic, but wouldn't it be interesting? We'll use that word. If you just hear like about an article like a month from now saying boy was dropped into forest and hunted by men, like that movie The Game from like forever ago. Be interesting.
Boy, for some reason, had a lizard stapled to his back.
To go along with that, too, like that guy in Finland who started everything, got really nothing for what he currently has, and still has 15 more charges. But after that, there was that Canadian that did it, and a bunch of people are actually saying Canada did it right.
Why? What did Canada do about
The
that?
Lizard Squad guy from Canada actually has to serve jail time, has probation, not allowed to touch a computer, not allowed any electronic devices, whereas the guy in Finland is supposed to be on a computer stopping people from hacking.
Yeah. Well, and he might do that. Who knows? But the reality is a lot of these attacks and stuff aren't really hacking. It's DDoS attacks, and I don't know any of those particulars at all. I'm not trying to pretend I do. A lot of people are saying that you're not actually like sword fishing your way into things. You're just repeatedly sending signals to the same place. Yeah, let's get into some larger topics. Basically, what I decided we were going to talk about today, because we've had lots of time to digest. And when we did E3 stuff, we sort of went over it very quickly because there's so much information, and we did it in 2 parts. I think what I've learned from that is that next year we're probably going to do, we're going to try and set it up so we have reaction videos, and then the podcasts are going to be 3 and 4 deep and talk about different topics and break them out in that way. But E3 1 month later, after the dust settles, what we realized about it, and the first thing I wanted to say, as far as 2015 goes, Xbox completely wins.
Oh, they won and then spanked.
Absolutely. When we first finished listening to the Sony press conference, we were so jazzed about everything. We wanted everything that they showed was awesome. The weird thing, they didn't talk about Morpheus a lot, which makes me really concerned about that, because this would be the time, especially if Microsoft had their HoloLens demo. Like, you should have done something with Morpheus. But
they did a lot of it on the floor with people.
I know, and I understand that, but you need to have some sort of presence. It's going to be like your next peripheral that's going to make you a bunch of money. You need to do stuff like that. But all of Sony's games, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is arguably the biggest announcement of the whole of all of E3, is not like it literally just started, as if they announced it at the same time as they told somebody, hey, by the way, we're doing this.
Some developer sitting on his couch going, oh, crap, what?
Oh, crap, I need to make a cutscene for that? When is this? E3's next week! Like, that's what it feels like.
Didn't even have time to notify the whole team.
Yeah. And as much as we're excited about that, like, I really do want to see, although that could be a whole topic in itself, because I'm really concerned of other things, because they really, really can't screw that up. Like, there are so many people that love Final Fantasy VII. If you're not as young as Sam is, you understand why it was important and why you loved it. But yeah, so Xbox, they announce, and they really do have an amazing lineup for this fall, and nobody can argue that, and they have lots of AAA titles coming out this fall, and Sony's kind of backed into a corner, so they were like, well, why would we worry about something like that, because there's so many third-party titles coming out, it would just be overshadowed. That's not the way to talk about it and to deal with that sort of situation, I think. Does anybody have anything to say about that? Like,
that's a justification. I can't see that was the plan.
Obviously not. Uncharted was supposed to come out alongside Tomb Raider, right?
Yeah.
So,
like, that was kind of their, well, we didn't give you any release dates whatsoever, but come on, look at these other guys' games.
Yeah. They make a valid point in the sense that, like, Battlefront and there's other ones coming out, obviously Assassin's Creed and all the other normal ones, but there's Metal Gear Solid and there's Battlefront that are 2 extra games that are being thrown into the annualized stuff. But it doesn't matter. You need to support your fan base and stuff. So what does this mean? What does this mean for Sony going forward? I mean, they really are going to get trounced. I actually predict that Xbox is going to put a massive dent, if not catch up, after this holiday season, especially with the backwards compatibility announcement.
Well, with backwards compatibility and the game lineup this season, not only are they gonna catch up, but PlayStation's gonna see a massive drop that I don't know if they're expecting.
They also refuse to do like price cuts and stuff, which is interesting to me, because you would think if they're not going to have all these games coming out this year, they need to combat what Xbox is doing. But Xbox is selling their Xbox Ones at $349 right now.
Yeah,
like that's insane. You have to pay $100 more for the PlayStation, and when they start bundling things like Minecraft, or if they start bundling things like if Rise of the Tomb Raider has a bundle, or if Halo 5 is obviously going to have a limited edition Xbox, like they're going to sell, plus the backwards compatibility, which I think sort of caught Sony off guard, because they said like backwards compatibility isn't really possible, but Microsoft figured it out. So now you have to, for Sony, you have to subscribe to PlayStation Now in order to play these classic games. And Xbox, it's like, oh, you have those digitally? Yeah, they're just in your library now. And oh, you have it? Just pop the disc in.
Yeah, like
it's crazy.
And the list of games on PlayStation Now, like I figured, all right, well, I'll look through it, but there's not a whole lot of games that actually interest me. Like the games that I kept from my PS3 aren't even in that list. Whereas Xbox users, they really get to pick whatever they wanted.
I think it was They have the Nathan Drake collection coming out, and I did see that Uncharted 3 is now on PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me if they remove that, because once the Uncharted collection comes out, you can either pay $50 or $60 for this collection. And I know it's going to have everything with $75 for this collection, or you can, pay $5 and play through Uncharted 3 in a week.
Yeah.
The
the pre-order for it is $75.
Yeah.
I get that you get 3 games.
Yeah.
But they're 3 older games.
Yeah, that's for Canadians, by the way. I'm pretty sure it's still $69.99 or $59.99 in the States.
$59.99 in the States.
But anyway, we pay a little bit more up here. So Microsoft's, I mean, they're going to make a huge dent. Do you think this is Sony slipping, or Matt, do you have any opinions on whether or not it's really going to effective in the long run?
I say that it's massive dent. I don't think they'll catch up yet, because they made a lot of mistakes at the beginning, but they're definitely doing it right now.
I think Phil Spencer's a genius. He's a true gamer leading that company now, and he's doing everything right.
PlayStation, like even this past week, there was the movement about fixing the PSN because it went down so many times this past week.
Yep.
Xbox has backwards compatibility. They have changed your gamer tag. They have the better online.
That's another thing too. Like Sony, well, they constantly say that changing your PlayStation ID wouldn't be the most simplest thing on the planet. Yes, okay, I understand that, but if you do it, you are going to make millions of dollars instantly.
I will pay the $10.
Yeah, don't offer it free. Just say it's $10. People don't care if they pay $10 for something like that. I'm not changing mine, but I know a lot of people, my brother included, whose name is Busty Luster, and I'm sure he wants to change that. Like, it's bad, right? Like, you just make these things thinking they're funny, and then you're like, oh my God, I'm going to have this forever, and I can't change it.
Yeah, not all of us think the same way we did when we created those profiles.
No, of course.
It's kind of like your first email address.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to keep
or your first PIN number or something like that.
But you think of, like, junior high making an email address versus an adult.
Yeah.
I had some when I was in junior high that I would never want to give to somebody, let's say at work, and your boss is like,
absolutely.
Hey, can I email you?
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I still know a lot of adults that have their junior high emails, and they just made them recently, so
yeah.
It goes both ways there.
Yeah. No, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead, dude.
No.
Well, somebody go.
Somebody talk. It's a podcast. People are going to get bored if we're not talking. I want to make one argument about this because of the way Sony has done this. Xbox right now, as like that we know, has 3 games coming out next year, and Sony hopefully will have a bunch of other games coming out. But from what I thought, Sony's just going to play a card next year and say that, oh yeah, well, okay, your fall and holidays were really good, but this year we have you. We have your number, Microsoft. Like, we're coming for you. That being said, I still don't really know of any games that are coming out next year. I don't believe Kingdom Hearts 3, which is going to be on all platforms anyway, even though it's going to be closely related to PlayStation, is going to be coming out next year. I'm skeptical that games like Final Fantasy 15, which is, you know, more traditionally attributed to a PlayStation system, is going to be coming out next year even. So I hope if it does come out, I'm assuming it's going to be fall next year, but Sony doesn't have all that many games. A lot of their stuff is indie.
Yeah.
Like Firewatch is coming to PS4. I'm very excited for that. No Man's Sky is PS4 and PC. I'm really excited for all that stuff, but you're not going to be able to compete with Rise of the Tomb Raider, Halo 5 with indie games. Indie games are a niche market. Like, you can talk about it all you want. No Man's Sky might sell 1 million copies of the game, but it's not going to beat Halo 5. Halo 5 is going to sell 4 million in the first week.
No Man's Sky for an indie is going to sell really, really well.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
But pit it up against your Halo 5s, Rise of the Tomb Raiders, it's not even going to be a scratch.
So, and I mean, like, as the dust settles, too, I wanted to bring up Nintendo's press conference. So after a month of thinking about this, I don't think there was any way that they could have had a better conference. And the reason I say this, and I want you guys to step in if you want to argue with me, and that's fine. But I say this because if they announce some huge game, like if they talk about Zelda, I honestly do believe that Zelda's probably going to come out on NX. I don't think it's coming for Wii U, because Wii U has like what 9 million consoles sold, and it's not doing that well. And maybe that number's wrong, but that's a problem. Why do you want to put a game out it's going to die there? Yeah. It's like Skyward Sword happened with the Wii. Now, the Wii had a massive install base, and it probably still sold really well, but the Wii U does not. No. So if they were smart, they should only everything that's so far along in development, yes, bring that out. You have no choice. But anything else that's early enough in the development that you can postpone it to NX, do it. And I hopefully next year, when they have another press conference at E3, here's NX and it's launching with Metroid and Zelda.
Yeah.
And then Nintendo wins E3 at that point, right? So
I think NX will get announced at GDC, not at E3 though.
Maybe.
So,
well, it'd be smart if they got like the sort of the hardware out of the way, and then at E3 they're like, oh, remember NX that we talked about? It's launching with Zelda, and then 2 months after that, Metroid's coming out, or the next year, Metroid's coming out, and things like that.
They're gonna need it. Part of why it makes sense to hold those games off is NX is going to need a massive game base at launch because of Wii U. Yeah. People are already leery. Oh, good, it's the new Nintendo system. But if you can couple, we've replaced the Wii U, here's all the hardware upgrades we've done, and here's an awesome game base to go with it.
Yeah, if they open with a Zelda is going to launch, and it's going to, the console's going to be $400, and it's going to launch with Zelda. It comes in the box or something crazy.
Like, you need that type of strong launch.
I agree.
For Nintendo at this point.
You can't have like a PS4 and Xbox One launch because it doesn't work. Not for Nintendo at this point. You need to have a AAA massive name behind when it launches. So it needs to be Mario or Zelda.
And it has to be an in-house name. Like, you can't rely. And Nintendo's never really been one to rely on third-party developers anyways. But you can't launch something like NX with that just simply based on where they're at.
It'd be cool if they ported Mario Maker over to NX or something like that, and then that was the game it shipped with.
Yeah,
that'd be cool, because that's something kind of creative, like Minecrafty and stuff that would ship with it, and it's already been on Wii U, so
I say that's when Minecraft finally comes to Nintendo, is the NX.
It'd be interesting if that was the case. But yeah, maybe that'll be a topic for another day, what we want NX to be. Maybe we should talk about that, because I'd love to speculate on what sort of ideas you guys have. But before we end with that topic and go on to talk about a few different things really quickly, I wanted to mention that, so backwards compatibility for Xbox was big. Sony already has a ton of money invested in that stupid Gaikai, was it? Geico? No, that's an insurance company. Gaikai, I think it was, the cloud service that does PlayStation now, basically.
Yeah.
And the share play and things like that. So what happened? Let me spin this off. Is it enough to say any PlayStation Plus subscriber has PlayStation Now for free? Would that be a way to combat it?
That would be.
I don't think they'll do it.
Right, I agree with you, but I think that solves an issue if they did it.
Yes.
Because right now it's $20 a month and you get unlimited play with PlayStation Now. Or maybe just have it so that you can buy the PlayStation Plus subscription, or you can buy this $55 version and you get PlayStation Now.
They match the Xbox online. Instead of being the $50, they up it to $60 and include PlayStation. Now. I think that's probably a smart way of going about it. In order for them to charge more for PlayStation Plus, though, they're going to need to fix their networks. Yes. Otherwise, nobody's going to pay it. So we're going to go really quickly because we've already been going for a little while. We're going to skip the Critics Awards because we don't have time to do that. Fallout 4 and Uncharted 4 won them all anyway.
Basically.
We did it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
We did it. And Horizon was Best New Game. Best Original Game. But we want to talk. I want at least one thing that you want from E3 2016. One thing.
I want games with release dates.
Yes.
And I am 100% gunning at Sony.
Yes.
For that one. But to hit us with all of these massive games and things that look so awesome, not only is it not out this year, but we have no idea when to expect to find out more information about these games.
That Sony press conference was like a fan fiction show.
Yeah.
And then it's like, none of these games are coming out anytime soon, but we're making them.
This actually isn't Sony canon. Is pretty much what they should have said afterwards.
Yes. Yeah.
Fan fiction brought to you by.
Yes, exactly. What else?
So my biggest one was that.
Long pause.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to say long pause.
Go, I just drew a blank.
Yeah. Matt, what do you want to see, buddy?
I'm going to agree with Josh a little bit. I do want release dates, but I don't want E3 2014, 2013 release dates where we heard about games that still aren't out. I know No Man's Sky, they did announce it and pulled it back, didn't really talk about it, but for E3 2016 for release dates, I don't want anything past maybe Q2 2017.
No, they have to be realistic release dates.
And unless it's a very brief teaser, but that's it.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think the right format is here's our big games coming this year. Let's talk a little bit about some tech or some bundles or price drops or whatever.
Very little bit.
Let's talk about indies. Let's talk about whatever peripheral, more like VR. Okay, we'll say that's a topic. Let's talk about VR. And then at the end, if you want to show like a sizzle reel, vertical slice, or whatever you want to call it, of a game that's not coming out till 2 years later, then go ahead, but just a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Like don't announce No Man's Sky 2 years ahead of time, and then of course I'm tired of seeing No Man's Sky reveals, well, we're going to play a little bit more. And yes, IGN right now has their IGN first as No Man's Sky, which is really exciting. And you finally got to see the minute by minute gameplay, and it's not just these, okay, you can fly here, then you can go down to the planet, and then it skips to something else. But it's still not out. We still don't have a release date. Everybody's thinking it's going to come out in 2015, unless they plan on doing something at PlayStation Experience with it and say, and by the way, it's out now, mic drop. But that's a weird way to do a game like that. I think that would be my hope, actually, saying that. I was going to say something different. That is my hope. Everything that they announce not only has release dates, but they at least have one surprise that nobody knows about, and they say it's out next week, or it's out now, or it's out in 2 months. I love that stuff. Fallout 4, I've never played a Fallout, but I'm excited because they finally announced it. They announced it a couple weeks ahead of E3. Then they confirmed all these amazing details about it. And then they're like, and on November 15th, you'll be able to play that. And then everybody just died because that's how you announce a game.
And that's a good time frame on a game like that.
I think the game's done.
To be completely honest with you, when they show you gameplay footage as a part of the trailer, so here I'm going to show you a little bit of the trailer, then I'm going to play the game some, but we still don't know when we're going to give it to you.
Yeah. Fallout 4 is interesting. I think people that are talking, I think it's November 10th, actually, not November 15th.
It's November 15th.
November 15th. Rise of the Tomb Raider comes out the same day. I'm going to play Rise of the Tomb Raider first to everybody's...
No, it might be November 10th because we have a holiday the next day.
Yeah. But I'm going to be playing Rise of the Tomb Raider first. I know that disappoints some people, but I think people are crazy. I heard I read a few Twitter posts that said that, oh, well, Rise of the Tomb Raider comes out, looks like I'm getting Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm like, okay, you're the minority, man, because anybody, once Fallout 4 launches, it's like Grand Theft Auto and it's like Call of Duty. It doesn't matter what comes out around it. That game sells. So if you think that there's going to be more people saying I'm going to buy Tomb Raider instead of Fallout, you're crazy. Absolutely, you're crazy.
2 copies of Tomb Raider and 1 Fallout. Actually, 2 copies of Fallout for myself.
Yeah. Yeah. The Legendary or the Pip-Boy, whatever, and yeah.
And then the one that I can actually play when it first comes out.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's pretty much it for the podcast. Yeah. Let's do some plugs and get out of here. It was a really good show. I like that. It was happy. There was no swear. Well, there was one swear word.
Yeah, it was you.
It was me, which is odd.
Happy swearing.
It's funny because I swear quite a bit outside of this show, but I don't like swearing. And sometimes, weird thing is, in real life, I censor myself. That's really odd. I don't know where I picked that up, but anyway. Let's do some plugs and get out of here. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Chalices. If you want to follow Matt,
at ManW_the_Beard.
And if you want to follow Josh,
at Joe Quiggle.
And as a collective group, you can follow us at Gaming Lagg, 2 G's in Lagg. Please visit our website, gaminglagg.com. All of our content goes up on there, as well as our podcasts go up on iTunes at the same time. All of our podcast videos go up a week after on gaminglagg.com or our YouTube channel, so subscribe to that. We will be doing our best to try and get more videos and gameplay videos of actual games and things of that nature. Unfortunately, we don't have as much time as we would like to, especially even though I'm unemployed, I'm getting married, so I have a lot of stuff to do for that. But please support Gamer Support Gamers, which is on our website as well, and please visit our Patreon. If you like the content that you're listening to today, I know you got the message at the first of the podcast, but throw a few bucks, throw more than a few bucks at us. We don't care. Our unofficial goal is to get to 1,000 people giving us $1 a month. That's a little bit for you, and it means a lot to us because it means we can do amazing things with that. We can make sure we're playing the games that you guys want us to play. We can make sure that we have a great venue to host our podcast, things like that.
Yeah.
Cover everything?
That's it.
All right. We did it, guys. That's it. And Gaming Lagg out.